Good morning. This is Lateesha Hinton, and I am here to continue on my series of the North Node through the houses. So if you check out what I have previously, I've completed the North Node from 1 through 9, houses 1 through 9. So I'm going to continue on today, just talking about what it means for you to have the North Node in the 10th house in your natal chart. So the North Node, which is called Rahu in Vedic astrology, is a point of the nodes of the moon that is calculated in your natal chart that signifies what your soul has actually come here to do. So in order to accomplish your North Node assignment, you will have to shed and release what it is that you have grown accustomed to in previous lives, or even in childhood if you don't believe in past lives, and what you have become really, really great at. Okay. So if you have the North Node in the 10th house, we want to understand that the 10th house is the house that is traditionally ruled by Capricorn. It is the highest point of the chart. The 10th house is. Well, let me take that back. The midheaven is the highest point. Okay, so the midheaven is the cusp, typically. Depends on what house system you're looking at. But it's going to be the cusp between the 9th and the 10th house. It's a split there. So at the very top of that is the midheaven. But then you move over into the 10th house. So the 10th house is going to represent your reputation in the world, your career, your status in the world. It is the part of your life that is most seen by outward people. The opposite of that would be the South Node. And the South Node, if your North Node is sitting in the 10th house, then the South Node is sitting in the 4th house. So the 4th house is the most hidden part. It's the home. It's the mother. It's the nurturing. It's the hidden parts of you, the underbelly of the chart. And then the 10th house is the most outward seen. So what you have grown accustomed to, what comes at greatest ease to you is the 4th house things. So that would be being at home with family and being the nurturer and being secluded and just being close to family and cooking and being more emotional and moving by feelings. The Cancerian things, because the 4th house is traditionally ruled by Cancer, the moon. Okay, the moon rules Cancer. So with that, regardless of what the sign is that is on the 4th house, there is an emotionality that comes along with the 4th house, because the 4th house, again, being ruled by Cancer, being ruled by the moon. The moon has these phases. So the moon is up and down. It's cyclical. It's just not stagnant. It's constantly ruled by how it feels. So if your South Node is there, you have grown accustomed to moving by your feelings and being led by how you feel and doing the Cancerian things, which is sometimes running and hiding, when your emotions are at stake, and sometimes not showing up for yourself or for others if you feel that you would be hurt. That Cancerian, the Cancer energy can run and hide because it is so tender. So you could have become accustomed to that. So if it is in the 10th house, then your call in this lifetime is to come out of the Cancerian shell. It is to show up in the world in the biggest and brightest way. It is to be a leader in business, a leader on the job. It is to come from being the light of the moon to being the light of the sun, if you will. Capricorn, which rules the 10th house, is ruled by Saturn. So there is this determination that comes along with the Saturnian energy, this steadfastness. It's not moody. It's not movable. It's not changeable. Excuse me. It's not movable and changeable like the energy of the moon, which is what you would have become accustomed to. Just, doing things typically based on how you feel. Or Saturn is not prone to moving by feelings. The Capricorn energy is not prone to moving by feelings, but it is making movements based on what is necessary, and that is based on getting to the top. When we see the animal that represents the Cancerian energy, which is the 4th house energy, it is the crab. So the crab is moving along sideways. It's walking sideways, and it is in a shell hiding because it knows that there is a tenderness to its flesh. So it doesn't want to be hurt. So it is walking in the sand sideways with fear and trepidation. It's moving, but it is based on its feelings. It's based on the tides, of the ocean. And then it could be hiding in the sand and so forth. But with the Capricorn, we see the goat. The goat is climbing to the top of the mountain. And if you watch these animals, here is this 200-pound goat. Even the baby goat is climbing these steep cliffs and using its hooves and the soft part, the little fleshy part of the hoof, to feel its way to get on stable ground. And it may have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. It may have to take 3 steps back to move 4 steps forward, but it's not moving out of fear. It is determined to get to the top. There is no hiding. It's exposed to harsh elements. It's cold, it's ice or snow, but that goat is constantly climbing to the top without fear. It knows that it is meant to be on top. It's meant to be a leader. So that is what you are called to do in this lifetime. If you have the North Node in the sign of Gemini in the 10th house, you are called to be a master of communication. The Gemini energy is one that is adept at taking in knowledge on various topics to be able to speak to anyone on almost any topic. The Gemini energy, the twins, are able to gather information on all sides. And so with that ability, with that superpower, you are to be able to take that knowledge, that mercurial ability to gather information and to speak to anyone. That is one of the gifts that the Gemini has. There's this light, airy feel that you have to be able to share the knowledge that you've gained and be able to blend in any environment and share knowledge and talk and be witty and charming and let's have a good time. And so with the North Node in the sign of Gemini, you are to use that mercurial knowledge to go to the top, to take yourself to the top, to leadership, to ownership, or to the top of the corporation, or to the top of the organization, whatever that may be. You are to use that ability to talk to go to the top. Now, where you can be stuck is within that Sagittarian energy that can be dogmatic, that could want to travel the world to find home. So if you have the North Node in Gemini in the 10th house, then you have the Sagittarius South Node in the 4th house. So that would mean that you want to connect to people, different cultures, to find home, to be, you may find that you travel to a monastery, and to gather foreign knowledge, and to eat foreign foods, and to have foreign experiences, but you are stuck inside. And it's easy for you to be stuck inside because that's what you are more accustomed to doing, but being inside, but inside in a foreign place. Okay. So, but the Gemini energy is asking you to do something that is about community, that is about the community where you grew up, something to have to do with your cousins, or the friendships, or the groups that are part of your community. So it could be that there is a need within your community for leadership, for a leader to be there for the Boys and Girls Club, for somebody to take the reins with something that is happening there, something falling short within your community. And you have this beautiful gift of gab that you can tap into and be out and about in the public speaking and sharing that ability to talk. And the knowledge that you have to build up that community and go to the top in that area, to establish a business that would help the community. Okay, so that could be a way that you can use that North Node. But it's not easy to tap into the North Node energy because you're more accustomed to the South Node energy. But staying in the South Node energy does not bring fulfillment. It does not bring fulfillment to you. Okay, let's do one more. Let's say if you have the 10th house, North Node in the 10th house in, let's say, we did air. So let's say water. Let's say you have it in the sign of Pisces. If you have the 10th house in the sign of Pisces and the North Node sitting there, then you have the South Node in the sign of Virgo in the 4th house. So for you, it is about using that sensitivity, that spirituality that comes along with Pisces to be able to heal people spiritually. That is the call of that North Node in the 10th house. And you would be seen. Your call is to be seen as a spiritual healer, someone who practices yoga, someone who practices astrology, or does tarot readings, or does Reiki, or any manner of spiritual healing or teaching or sharing with your connection to the spiritual realm for the healing of others. That is what you are called to do. Previously, with the Virgo energy, it's easy for you to serve people like in a nursing type of a way. Some earthy, tangible type of way is the Virgo healing energy of nutrition, helping people with nutrition and so forth. Well, the call now is to move more towards spiritual healing as opposed to physical healing in this lifetime. Okay, and the thing to keep in mind, because it is the Capricorn house, hard work is required. It's already hard enough to move towards the North Node. But anything having to do with Capricorn, Saturnian energy, there is hard work and labor that is required in order for you to work with the 10th house energy. Even if we're not even talking about the North Node, just to work that 10th house, to tap into the 10th house energy to its highest good, requires work and tenacity, or you won't give up, where you won't fail, and where you won't run away. And the two signs that I gave you are mutable. Pisces and Gemini are both mutable signs. And for the mutable signs, it is easy to change. It is easy to quit when it gets hard, or when it becomes mundane. It's easy to walk away. But in order for you to tap into that North Node and to do what it is that your soul has come here to do, you have got to tap into that part of you that will not quit, with a knowing from within the deepest part of you that when you finish this, you will receive the reward of Saturn. And the reward of Saturn is something that is long lasting, that has a legacy associated with it, something that you could pass down to your children or to those that you have mentored. And it will not happen, with just walking away when things become challenging. Okay, so that's what I have to share on the North Node in the 10th house. Again, my name is Lateesha Hinton, and I send you blessings. Thank you for listening.